Hi, I'm Stuart. Welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back. Thanks for viewing my video. In this video, I'm going to give my reading wrap-up for March 23, 2025 through March 29, 2025. In this period, I completed one book. I did review that book in a separate video, as I'm going to be doing from here on, individual book reviews. So I'll only talk a bit about it and provide a link in the description to the video where I reviewed it. I read parts of 3 books for Celtophile, so I'm not going to talk about those here. I'm going to do a video, hopefully release on Monday, where I talk about what I've done for Celtophile and 3 books I've read, and I expect by then I'm going to at least start the 4th. So at least I've started 4 of the books, the 4 books I plan to read part of. So I won't talk about those here. I did start and read a fair amount of another book though, so I will talk about that book here a little bit. I'll talk about my reading plans for the upcoming week, and one thing I'm going to change as far as my reading, actually more my purchasing of books. I'll talk briefly about that. I'll talk about a couple of books that I got recently, physical books. I'll talk about a Wobble I completed and one I worked on, did part of. And maybe some other things in my life too. The book I completed was Mockingjay by Suzanne. It is the 3rd and final book in the original Hunger Games trilogy. I thought it was a very fitting end to the series. A lot of tension, a lot of stuff going on, some betrayals. Not everybody survived. It is a dystopian YA novel, and I liked it a lot. I didn't rate it yet on Starograph, but it's going to be at least a 4.5. The book I started and read part of is The Twisted Ones by Kingfisher. In this book, the protagonist Mouse, not her real name, a nickname, a 30-ish book editor, is traveling to North Carolina to try to clear out her grandmother's house. Her grandmother passed away recently, and her father's enlisted her to try to clear out the house. She travels to this location, a smallish town, with her coonhound, Bongo. Soon discovers that her grandmother was a hoarder, and also there's some mysterious writings that she finds that she becomes kind of obsessed with, and some strange things happen in the area. This is the second Kingfisher book I'm reading after House with Good Bones, and I'm really liking this. Maybe not quite as much as A House with Good Bones, but I really like it. And I should say too, this is the March read for Fright Club, the YouTube book club moderated by Cliff at Cliff's Dark Gems and Crits at Crits_reads. And I was really happy when they selected this one too. And my happiness really it's been justified by my reading so far. I'm about 2/3 through. When I was editing my last weekly wrap-up, I discovered that I must not have hit record on one of the segments. I record videos in segments because it makes the file transfer easier. Not that it always is easy, but it makes it easier. So I record in segments, and when I was editing, I realized that I hadn't recorded one of the segments. I hadn't hit record on one of the segments, and usually when that happens, I don't record. I just figure that's the way it goes. But I'm just going to say what I said then, which nobody saw. I recently decided to try to change somewhat my source of books. Bookshop.org recently started having ebooks, and that was kind of impetus for me to maybe change my purchasing. I think that one of the reasons for this, I think people would expect me to say, is that it's because I want to move away from Amazon. And although I really don't think Amazon is that great of a company for various reasons, I don't really actually buy too many books there. I do have a Kindle Unlimited subscription, but Barnes & Noble is my biggest source of books, and I do like Barnes & Noble as a company, but the reason I want to move to bookshop.org is simply that, more to bookshop.org, is simply that they support independent bookstores. You can designate an independent bookstore, and a portion of the proceeds from every purchase you make for them goes to the independent bookstore, and I kind of like that. So when they started offering ebooks, after some thought, I got their app. They don't have a reader, but they have an app. I got their app, and I got a few ebooks, and I have been reading them some. And the app is kind of glitchy right now, but hopefully it'll become more stable as time goes on. I just kind of want to support independent bookstores, which is not to say I'm going to move away from Barnes & Noble totally. I like to go to their store. I like to go to their stores and look at books and buy some. And I'll continue to do so, probably special editions. But I just want to support independent bookstores more. And lets me do so at bookshop.org. There's a premium, though, because if you buy physical books, you have their shipping costs. But I just want to try to do that. And related to that is, I also, in that segment that I didn't hit record on, I did purchase a couple physical books. And one of them is The Twisted Ones, which I already showed you, by T. Kingfisher. I talked about that. The other is Only the Stones Survive by Mark Twain. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Even though I said I wasn't going to talk about Celtophile in this video, this is a book that I'm reading as part of Celtophile. Nicole, the host and creator of that readathon, is a big proponent of Mark Twain, so she would like more people to read her books. So this is my first. Haven't started yet, but I will start by the end of the month. Another thing I did actually just yesterday is that I did create an account on Discord. There's several reading groups that I'm involved with. I know have Discords, and I've generally shied away from those type of chats because I just have a kind of resistance to doing it as a shy introvert. I guess maybe that's part of it, but I did at least create a Discord account, and we'll see if, I'm sure I'll eventually try some of the groups that have offered invitations because of book clubs or whatever I'm part of, and at least give it a try. I haven't, the only similar thing to that I actually do at this time is the I'm With a Band book club, moderated by MJ, Reading This Life at M-J on here, and Fable Book Club. They also have a Voxer chat, and I am part of that, and occasionally I say something, but I much more comment on the Fable book club, and if I have something to say about one of the chapters of the book. So a little bit on the Voxer one, but not nearly as much as I am on the Fable book club. We'll see, though. First step is creating the account, and I have a Discord account now, so I do have the option now of joining chats if people offer invitations, and I know of at least 2 that have offered such things, such invitations. Now I want to talk about a Wobble I completed. That Wobble is Hello Kitty. I am quite happy with how Hello Kitty came out. In the video I did recently where I talked about my Wobbles experience to that point, I mentioned that I got the kit which Hello Kitty was part of, and each of the 3 Wobbles starting with Hello Kitty in that kit I failed, and I just put them aside. Later feared I had thrown away the kits, but I kept going. So when I did discover that I still had the kits, I created Hello Kitty, and quite happy with Hello Kitty. Somewhat of a challenging one, but I think came out pretty well. And the other one I've done a little work on was the Tiny Cardinal. It is day 7 in the Wobble's Advent calendar. I know it's the end of March too, and it's an Advent calendar, but it is what it is. I might have mentioned this at some previous point a while back because I put this aside and worked on several others, but got back working on it. And here's where I am so far. I'm done with the body. I'm mostly done with the body. The eyes and nose are a little off, but it is what it is, and this is the one I'm currently working on. Next, I just wanted to talk a little bit about a purchase I recently got, which I'm pretty happy about. As multiple people have noted, I not too long ago started growing beard, goatee. I actually call it a Van Dyke beard. I learned that from a coworker of mine. And I reached a point, it was getting kind of longish, so I needed to trim it. I used to have beard trimmers, but I guess I must have donated them because I haven't had a beard for years. So wanted to get a new one. And the one I came up with was this one here. I'll show you the box. It's from Manscaped, the Beard Hedger Essentials Kit. And what I like, here's the razor I got. What I like about it is that when I've got these before, you had to like have these heads here, but you had to pick the proper one for the length you want. But this one, they have a wheel. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a wheel you can set it. I set it at 5 millimeters, which I believe is about 2/10 of an inch. And just use it for the first time, and I'm quite happy with the results. Quite happy with this trimmer. I do have to be careful with my septum ring that I don't let that get in the blades because I think it could damage them. But on a first use, I was really happy with it. And it also comes with clippers. I use these, clip the mustache. And this comb, this beard comb. Also has like beard shampoo and beard conditioner, but I don't use conditioner on my hair, and I'm not sure the shampoo is any different from hair shampoo, but came with a kit. But I'm quite happy with this trimmer. I know it sounds like I'm kind of a shill, but I think it's probably clear that I don't get sponsored at this point in my YouTube journey. So it's just something I thought was pretty cool and I'm happy about. The fact that you can adjust the size just by turning the wheel. I don't have to like put a different head on it to get the proper height. Haven't really talked about recently music I've been listening to. I kind of got out of the habit of doing it. I kind of want to start doing that again. Mostly I've been listening to music from the members of my favorite K-pop band Blackpink. Each of the members has recently put out some solo music. Lisa, Rose, Jennie, and Jisoo are the members. The first three put out full-length albums, all in English. Jisoo put out a 4-song EP. A lot of it's in Korean because her English is kind of limited at this time. But I'm really liking the songs. I'm liking them a lot. I want to get back to like just trying to get to know music better by sometimes just listening to it. I used to do that. I've got a way it served mostly as background, and it just takes a lot longer to get familiar with music that way. So that's the music I've mostly been listening to the past week, the Blackpink members' solo efforts. And some of them are hits in the US too. Besides that, I've been watching a little bit of college basketball. It's both the men's and women's NCAA tournaments. So watching a little bit of that. The team I like most is the UConn women's basketball team. They're still in it. They're through to the round of 16. They play later today as I record this. This is Saturday the 29th. Watching some of that. Watching a lot of YouTube videos. Other than that, the stuff I normally do. Go out to eat a few times a week. Go to the local mall a couple times a week. Same stuff. I'd be interested in knowing how your week went, both reading-wise and other activities. If you'd like to let me know, please add a comment. Let me know. Like reading it. I hope you have a wonderful reading week. I hope you have a wonderful week in general. If you enjoy this video, please give it a like, please subscribe, please hit the bell to get notified when I upload future videos.